I'm Pamela Allen, and this is my industry interview number 1. I had the opportunity to interview Mr. Michael Silverman. He is the athletic director at Milford Mill Academy, where he was previously the head basketball coach. His teams went on to win 3 state championships, and he returned as the athletic director in 2018. He attended Salisbury University, where he received his undergrad in PE and health certification. He also has 2 master's degrees in athletic administration and educational leadership. He played football and basketball in college, and he says his love for the game as an athlete influenced his decision to pursue a career in athletics. He works with kids on the high school level because he enjoys pouring back into kids and helping them become successful and giving them the tools they need to execute excellence at the higher level. Since returning, he has added a modern and fresh style to what it means to be a high school athletic director. When he began, he implemented things like hype videos, hired an athletic training staff, closed brand deals for sponsorships with Under Armour and Gatorade, and he also hired an athletic nutritionist. He has had professionals come in and speak with the athletes, and he always pushes for academic excellence. The main points he touched on was to be organized, have good communication skills, and to love what you do. As someone who has to schedule, budget, and make executive decisions, he says these are the things that have helped him the most. He told me organization was the key to a great athletic program, and as the athletic director, he explained that with the many tasks he has no choice but to be super organized. He schedules games, practices, and tryouts, and it's his responsibility that all of those things run smoothly. He told me it was important to have good communication skills because he has to deal with multiple personalities, male and female, and adult and child. So being able to communicate in a way that everyone understands and resonates with is important. Making sure that all the programs run smoothly and that everyone does their part is his job, so he makes sure he has a good, respectful relationship with everyone. And lastly, he kept reiterating to me that his job doesn't work if you don't love what you do. It's stressful and it's a lot, so if you aren't passionate about it, there's really no point. Because he works on a high school level, he basically has students' futures in his hands. He has a duty to them to give his staff the tools for success to ensure the future successes of the student athletes. Whether he is hounding a kid about their grades or just helping them have a better attitude, it's all out of love and to make sure they have what they need to be successful at the next level. The interview ran smoothly, and honestly, I never realized athletic directors had to do so much, so I definitely gained a lot of insight. He was very to the point, and I think that's part of the reason he is a successful athletic director, because he does his part and moves on to the next thing. Even though I want to be an agent, I've developed a new admiration for athletic directors because they truly hold everything together and keep the programs moving like well-oiled machines. He told me being a coach first gave him the tools he needed and helped mold him into being a successful athletic director because he knew he had what it took to run an entire program. From scheduling practices to making sure uniforms and budgets were in place, he knew he had what it took. My biggest takeaway from this interview is having the right personality for the job and making sure your heart is in it. From being responsible for equipment, uniforms, hiring the right staff, reprimanding staff and students when need be, and overall making sure everything works the way it's supposed to is a big responsibility. Being in a position where you have to work with a lot of people who have a lot of pride, you have to know how and when to stand your ground and not to make emotional decisions, all while keeping everything running smoothly. Wearing so many hats can get frustrating, so having a good organized system and a support system is important as well. I know thinking ahead is imperative, as well as you can't have a one-track mind when you work for and with so many teams, especially because everybody needs something different from you, even though the end outcome is always academic and athletic success. I wouldn't really change anything about the interview. It ran smoothly, I wasn't nervous, and Mr. Silverman made it easy by being straightforward and answering all my questions. I learned some new things I didn't know, and he gave me good advice that even agents could take into their career path. So overall, I would say this was a great experience. However, being as though I didn't have any previous knowledge about athletic directors, I would probably just ask more questions about how to handle conflicts with different teams and different kids, and the process it takes to maneuver through each sport and how to deal with moving up the ladder in the athletic director's field. I would also ask him about any adversities he's faced or had to deal with his own athletes. I would ask him about any conflicts he's had to handle with coaches, and I would also ask him if he had any other plans for the sports administration field.